and using a wonderful pianist that's worked with me many times before from the Bay Area, Quito Gamble, and a new acquaintance, bassist David Ewell from the Bay Area. It's tomorrow night. I'm performing a concert at St. Mary's College in the Bay Area.
Excellent. And what kind of, as you're going on tour, or as you're touring around and playing some dates with these people, what kind of music are you playing? Are you playing lots of music from Rainbow people, or are you mixing it up in live?
I'm mixing it up, but I'm definitely playing some compositions from Rainbow people, and then I'm playing some compositions from my other recordings as well. Mostly original compositions. I base my career as a leader, unless I, of course, have a special project of Rovatzos music, or I did one on JJ's music. But other than that, I prefer to play my music because that's why you're a leader, to play your music. I don't want to base my career off of playing someone else's music or playing the music of the 30s. I play stuff that I compose and record, and it keeps me growing, and then that leads me to evolve as a composer by performing my music. Then I see where the next step goes.
What you're looking for next. Well, when you started out doing Rainbow People, then what were you looking for next in your own writing or in your own music?
Well, boy, that's a difficult question.
Well, just were there some things that stood out?
See, the way I approach music isn't like I'm gonna try and do something different and it's got to be new. I mean, that's all good, but see, all you got to do is be yourself, and it is different. Each one of us is different, just like our fingerprints, just like the iris in our eyes. You don't have to try to be different. That's pretentious. What I'm trying to do is go inside and be honest and do something that feels right to me. And of course, I'm always trying to study and learn, and I listen to everything going on around me. And if something ticks, if you hear something and it really makes your bell ring, so to speak, then I incorporate it. I start checking it out, and then I personalize it. I mean, I've studied Indian classical music, and I love that music. And on certain compositions, I'll bring that experience to play, although none of the compositions I'm playing tonight, but Latin music or Brazilian music, or all different kinds of music. I love all kinds of music. Like Duke Ellington said, there's two kinds of music. There's good music, and there's the other kind. And I'm a firm believer that I'm not into this, this is happening because it's new. If it's good, cool, bring it on. But to me, I would rather listen to Louis Armstrong recorded that that's going to be good than to something that's new just to be new and it's real questionable. I'll check it out. I'll listen to it once, and if I don't feel anything, then it goes in. I give it to somebody.
Right. So how do you get those experiences? Do you get those new experiences by playing with new people, or are you tapped into other music scenes that
I go out and listen. I listen to the radio. I listen to my friends and stuff, my colleagues, and they'll say, well, check out so-and-so, man. And I'll go check it out, and being in New York, most of the time you can see almost everybody live, and that's what I really prefer. When you see something live, then you know whether it's real or not.
Yeah, you can't hide when the people are there watching you. Yeah. Well, so can you in some maybe broad strokes tell us how you think about how your career has progressed over these? Now, this is your 13th. Rainbow People is a 13th release. It's the top part, though. It's still the top part of the rainbow. It's still the top part of the rainbow. How some major things that you think you've really, improved on or learned about, in your playing.
Well,
Because you seem to be wide open to lots of different kinds of music.
I never have been one-dimensional in my stylistic approach, you know. So even this record has a lot of diversity in terms of its conceptual delivery. You know, I don't just play everything in one style.
Right.
And that's the way I perform too. And I just hear a lot of different approaches, and that's part of my musical personality. But it's not, I didn't start out to do that. I just always, as a kid, listened to a lot of different kinds of music and enjoyed them.
Right.
You know. Well, I remember hearing Jimi Hendrix live. Boy, that blew my mind.
When you were growing up in the Bay Area?
Yeah, man. I saw the Beatles live. I saw Duke Ellington live.
Right.
57 at the Oakland Auditorium. And Ella Fitzgerald was a guest vocalist, and Coleman Hawkins was a guest soloist. And Clark Terry was in the trumpet section. Boy, I mean, that's what made me want to play jazz. I had just started playing. I was in the 4th grade. And, I mean, there's certain things like that, real moments that are still with me. I remember going to a blues show, and B.B. King, Freddie King, and Albert King all on the same concert. Boy, what a mind blow. You know?
I can imagine. So those events really shaped your, you know, and shaped your life and your musical life, and you know, kind of show some of illustration of your broad strokes. Hendrix, Ellington.
Yeah, I saw James Brown in high school at the Oakland Auditorium. Killing. I saw another real mind blow. Was the first time I saw Sonny Rollins live, and this was in the 60s at the Jazz Workshop in San Francisco North Beach. And then, of course, Rahsaan Roland Kirk. Wow. And I ended up playing with him.
So if there was a characteristic that you could say that people, that either is strong for you or that people might even be able to hear, that you picked up from some of these people, like Rahsaan, what would be a trait that you said would be in common with you and Rahsaan?
God, I don't know if I can verbalize it.
Really?
Rahsaan, I think, in a certain sense, one of the deepest things that his experience brought to me was the importance and the how deep it is, the legacy of the music. As far back as you can go will directly affect how far forward you can go. You know.
Learn from the past, and
you're an extension of the past. We have to stand on the shoulders of those that came before us, whereas a lot of what I see today it sounds like they're disregarding and negating what came before us, and then just saying, well, I'm going to do something different, and then I'm going to get credit for creating something. But for me, I didn't learn to play that way.
Do you see that, not to interrupt, but do you see that in jazz music industry or in just popular music overall?
I'm not talking popular music.
You're talking about
I'm talking about so-called jazz. That see, a lot of the youngsters, they just don't know about the blues. That's the root of jazz. They don't know about swing. They didn't come up listening to something that really swings. I played with Art Blakey. Came up listening to and playing with Ray Charles. Ray Charles could do it all, just like Rahsaan. You know, and it's not, I don't care if it's a funky beat, but then what was jazz in the beginning? It was dance music. My mother and father met at a Count Basie dance. That's for real. And people used to dance to jazz. And then funk, that's dance music. Today you can't even tap your foot on half the stuff that comes out. You know,
that sounds so strange too, because from a lot of what I hear, jazz artists are trying to incorporate pop, even more, and so it seems like they.
Let me correct. It's both ways. Yeah, they're doing that if they want to make some money.
Right.
And then if they want to think they're being artistic, then they're taking it completely another way. And I don't have anything against that. You want to do whatever you hear, but they're completely disregarding the African part of the music. And it seems like they're deliberately deleting that from what's supposed to be new instead of putting it at the heart and soul of what is the core of the music. The blues is that. The swing is that. Swing comes from African six rhythm. And without that, it's something else.
It's great that you're, and I hope you don't mind me pursuing this a little bit more, because when I was reading about, I'm not about being exclusive, I'm about being inclusive, and you talk about it started with African and European music, then added Latin and Indian, and I was trying to get to what is the heart of jazz. Is it the improvisational elements? Because it seems like a lot of these musics.
Jazz is the original world music.
So, to me, it seems like there is improvisation, which to me is a big part of, if not, that's the whole question. Is it all of jazz, or is improvisation over the swing rhythm? Is that jazz?
It gets to be semantics.
Does it?
Yeah, because everybody wants to define it their own way. But I like what Louis Armstrong said. If I have to define it to you, then you don't have a clue. You don't get it. It's about feeling. But I will say this, for me, that improvisation existed before jazz. I mean, Bach used to improvise. Mozart used to improvise. Although that European classical music lost that. But they used to. And there are many great musics of different cultures. Indian classical music, they improvise. Cuban music improvises. Brazilian music improvises. African music obviously improvises. So right. It's part of humanity in a sense. But jazz is unique. Blend. It was the first world music that took European song forms. And we all know this history from Jazz 101, and the instruments, and then it's African rhythm and collective consciousness and improvisation that made it what it. But it was created by African Americans. Yes. It was created by African American culture, and that's at the root of it. And that's just the truth.
Yep.
It's not about a discussion or something. That's just what happened.
Right. Yeah. I just I think about the music. It's a great music, and both the rhythm and the improvisation all get to me.
But the harmony comes from the Europeans.
Yeah. See, so.
But then Dizzy had Afro-Cuban, and Train studied with Ravi Shankar, and it's still growing. It's all good. It's all good. But then again, I've experienced some musicians that it's not necessarily to mention names, but they're very popular now, and they're playing very free-form stuff. But they tell their musicians specifically, do not groove. If the music is free and you get by chance through the freedom into a groove, do not go with it. Break the groove.
Really?
So yeah.
Wow.
Because they don't want it to groove. They want it to float.
Right.
So if that's what you want, that's okay too. Because some people say, just groove. So who's to say it's a matter of personal taste? But to me, one is not open any more than the other is open. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, I want to mention something that we were talking about a little bit earlier, and for San Diego people, and we only have a minute or so, but you came to San Diego many, not many, in some of the heyday of some places down in Pacific Beach. You played at the Catamaran, right?
Oh yeah, with Chico Hamilton.
That's excellent, and that wasn't your first time in San Diego. You were here playing with. Ray Charles.
72.
Really?
74, I think, was the Catamaran.
Excellent.
Then I played in 82 or 3 with Woody Shaw. Well, I forget where that was.
Right. Well, it's great to have you back here in San Diego, especially for Jazz Live. Can you tell folks where they can find out more information about you, and if they'd like?
My website is steveturre.com. www.steveturre.com, And I apologize, I have to update my itinerary. Otherwise, everything is in order.
Well, as far as we can tell, this is the only place to be right now. So
Yeah.
your itinerary is up to date today. Hey, thanks for thanks for coming to Jazz Live.
And my pleasure.
Great, thank you, Steve. Steve, while I have you in front of the mic, can you just read an ID for us?
I don't know why I always end up getting in these discussions about
Because
Tag, you're in, huh?